Hi, everyone. I'm Mitch Juricich, and welcome to Hooked on the Niners.
And I'm Mark Naismith, and we'll take a look at the grounding of the Jets last weekend.
And I'm Terrell Jones. I'm sitting in for Jerry Walker, and we'll be talking about the Buffalo Bills.
And in segment 2, we're going to go around the league. It's a quarter of the season is over already. We'll kind of figure out what's what right here on Hooked on the Niners.
Hooked on the Niners is brought to you by
Bay 101 Casino, located at 1801 Bering Drive in San Jose. They can be reached at 408-451-8888 or on the web at bay101.com. Since 1994, Bay 101 Casino.
Badges Cafe. Badges Cafe is located in the heart of Mountain View at 2423 Old Middlefield Way. You can reach Badges Cafe at 650-967-7477 or on the web at www.badges.com. Go Niners! College Plaza Shell. College Plaza Shell, located at 1400 West Hillsdale Boulevard in San Mateo, providing automotive service since 1987. You can reach College Plaza Shell at 650-573-7959. That's 650-573-7959.
Psst. Hey, need some video work done? We can do that. We do all that video stuff. We can even put your video on that internet thingy. At Peninsula TV, we do full-blown in-studio production, talk shows, performances, speeches, anything. Remote multi-camera production, on location, at your event. And for the budget-minded, single camcorder production in high definition. We'll take your video project from first idea to finished product. For more info, contact Peninsula TV.
Welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. Hey, I tell you what, a win on the road in the NFL is a huge thing, especially tough place to play like New York. You know, usually fairly tough crowds, but a pitch and a shutout, Mark.
Absolutely.
In New York.
Grounding of the Jets. Did you like that?
I heard that in the open. It was kind of cute then. Right. The second time, it's not so hot.
Let's forget it.
You're wearing it out.
Well, after last week, not showing up very well, and to go in there and stay out in Ohio for a week and get their stuff together and come in and play a game like that was very, I don't know what the word is, refreshing, good, excellent, all the above. Really put it to the Jets. I think we were talking, they probably could have won that game 50-0. And
probably could have.
Played stellar defensive game, incredible run game, and altogether a great victory.
Terrell, just enough sputtering in the beginning to first of all, this is our resident Viking fan, and please forgive him. He grew up there, and I can understand it. But this kind gentleman, who obviously doesn't fit in on this program, didn't say a word about his Vikings whipping us. But
I don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. Hey, it just goes to show you can't throw your jocks out there.
That's
you
right.
got to go play, and they played against the Jets, but just enough sputtering in the beginning to drive you a little nuts.
Well, yeah, and I thought that if they were going to keep playing that way and leave them hanging around, that the Jets were going to come back.
Yeah.
But then they came out in the second half and just turned on the gas, which was great. You know, like you said, especially on the road, and it's hard to play in New York anyway.
Yeah. Hey, you know, and just here's a little aside that doesn't mean anything. A family in New York that we know, the Pachon family, two wonderful kids that were teammates of my son, AJ and Vince, big Jets fans. And we kind of root for the Jets, too, because of them and live vicariously through them. Let's see, Fireman Dave, is it?
Oh,
with the J-E-T-S?
Fireman Ed.
Fireman Ed.
Yeah.
Didn't see him. And I love that cheer. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, it's one of the coolest cheers in the NFL.
Right.
Didn't hear it. And now, help me on this. Did the Jets make an attempt at scoring? I don't think they attempted a field goal. Did they get in the red zone?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Come on, man.
They played great D.
Yeah.
That's just that team. Terrell and I were talking before you got to the studio here today. That team's in a spiral.
They are.
Rex Ryan could lose his job at the bye week.
Right. And then you got Santonio Holmes just went down. Revis is gone.
Yeah.
Their offensive line is looking bad. Their running game is nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
So he could be gone.
And I like the fact they came after Sanchez. You know, even Ryan said after the game, this guy is not a great passer if he can't get his feet set. They didn't let him do it very much. He threw a lot of bad balls, and you know, that was that for them.
Alden Smith, a couple of sacks, and I think he had one or two that were taken back because of penalty. But no, that's a bad situation. It's kind of hard to believe that team, and you know, in all fairness, really wasn't the total Jets that we saw, as you said, without Darrell Reeves. Stephen Hill wasn't there. Dustin Keller didn't play. You know, kind of a shell of its former self, and then people getting hurt left and right. But it's hard to believe this team went to 2 straight AFC championships.
Yeah, lost a lot of people, though. I think that's what happens. But they also played, I think, arguably the best defense in the NFL right now. The 49ers have really emerged into a terrifying defense that can do so many things with that great, fast secondary. Extraordinarily good tacklers. It's just a really pleasure to watch a team perform like that.
You know, I don't propose to know a lot about football. I just kind of watch the games and see what I see. But
you've ascertained that over the last number of years.
Okay, all right, let's see. Mark
used to be on the show.
You're on the list. Have Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis switched roles?
I think they have.
I mean, Bowman seems to me,
like he's
the new man in the NFL.
Right.
This guy's a beast.
But he's still underrated. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned his name throughout the NFL, and people are like, who?
Yeah.
Because everybody knows Patrick Willis.
Right.
They know Justin Smith. They know Alden Smith.
Right.
But they don't know Bowman. But he is making a name for himself every week.
You know, they're just on receivers as soon as the ball is caught.
Yes.
They're on them right away. And speaking of that, our 2 safeties, Whitner and Goldson. I think as you watch these games, and again, I don't pay attention all that much. I just, you know, it's my entertainment. But I think you're going to see less slants and post patterns by receivers in the NFL against us as the season goes on. Well, these 2 guys are big hitters.
Right, and here's an interesting stat about this, too, is that they had 7 defended balls that they batted down from the Jets that were just right there, and they came in and just knocked them down.
Wow.
7.
That's
a lot.
That's a lot in the NFL. I can't believe we've gone this long without talking about the guy who has the best job in football. That's the backup quarterback on an NFL team, Colin Kaepernick.
Right.
Seems to me to be what Harbaugh and his staff are good at, is put the guys in to do what they do best. There was an opportunity to put him in the game where his skills were needed, and he goes. And what strides he has.
It was good to see. I thought they played a terribly conservative game against the Terrell's Minnesota Vikings and didn't really show them a lot of looks. That really changed a lot. Didn't manifest itself in a lot of TDs, but they moved the ball. I mean, Kaepernick's just an amazing athlete, and he just can find things because he's used to 50 rushing touchdowns in college.
Right.
And
did he have that many?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's absurd.
Yeah.
50 rushing touchdowns and 85 just astounding numbers.
Well, I remember when he was coming out of Nevada, Terrell, I said, this guy won't run away from the linebackers in the NFL.
Well,
he kind of is.
Well, you know, also, too, you see his arm?
Yeah.
You see when he chucked that ball down the field? I was like, where'd that come from?
Yeah, and see his arm just at rest.
Right. But then also, too, I thought Harbaugh was kind of like taking a jab at the Jets, saying, okay, you guys got Tebow?
You know,
watch
I got this on my notes. Is there a little ego with these coaches that, you know, I'll out backup quarterback you? You think that's in there too?
Well, I was hoping it was happening. I mean, they put Tebow in the first series, right?
Yeah.
He made, as we were talking about, he didn't throw it, but he made 2 of the best blocks I've ever seen. He knocked down Alden Smith, and then he knocked down Ahmed Brooks. You know,
change that 1 and 5 to a 6 and a 7. Yeah, right. Exactly. I'd love to have that guy on my team. I really would like to have him on the team.
Well, you know, here's another thing, real quick. Is that that there were 7 different Niners who ran the ball.
Yeah. And I think 11 or 12 different guys that actually touched it, whether running or receiving, which is just unbelievable.
And Kendall Hunter had a great game.
Yes, he did.
He had 3 runs that were almost identical.
Yes.
Sweeps left, and I think they all picked up 12 or 13 yards. 3 of them. It almost looked like, is this a replay? No, this is him again. Randy Moss. Okay, about that. Okay,
I mean, wait a minute.
That'll do that.
He had 1 good block.
Yeah, well, he did.
For him,
I mean,
he had a good block.
I meant it in a nice. Come on, where is he? Let's get him in here.
But I'm wondering why they're not using him as much.
I think these are just to do your job when we tell you to do it,
Right.
when we think the situation is right. Did that just make any sense?
Not
what
so
I just,
much, but
okay.
it's okay.
But,
All right,
but we understood. So,
taking a
yeah,
shot.
yeah, we've been around him long enough, so we understand when he's saying stuff like this.
It is hard to speculate, but they seem to be playing, the 20-yard to 25-yard game and running the ball.
Yeah.
And that plays much better into Crabtree and Manningham's hands, I think, than Moss. And Manningham's showing up. The end around was a great play.
Perfect.
He can run.
Yep.
They're doing the right things right
Got
now.
to go to break. There's a lot more to talk about. Maybe we'll pick it up the second segment before we go around the league right here on Hooked on the Niners.
Brought to you in part by Woodmont Real Estate Services, a friend to the community since 1963. Woodmont Real Estate Services is located at 1050 Ralston Avenue in Belmont, California, and can be reached at 650-592-3960 or at www.wres.com. Vivace Ristorante. Vivace Ristorante is located in the heart of Belmont at 1910 Ralston Avenue. They can be reached at 650-637-0611. That's 650-637-0611. Or on the web at www.vivacerestaurant.com. Gando Design. For 25 years, Gando Design is located in Redwood City. Their website is gandodesign.com/specials. Gando Design, a proud sponsor of Hooked on the Niners. Peninsula TV is now live streamed on the internet. Watch us from anywhere you have an internet connection, on cable, on the net, and on that fancy mobile device. Just go to pentv.tv.
Welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. We're just talking here while you were looking at the fine folks that help support this. Offensive line, before we go around the league, we were just saying, Jerry, who usually sits there, always says this is the unit that takes so much time to get coordinated, so on and so forth. They're kind of looking pretty good.
Oh, they're looking great. And what people don't realize is they think that, okay, the quarterback is the smartest guy on the field. It's the center.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because he has to call all the right protections.
Probably.
And Goodwin did a fantastic job.
Right.
The last two games, actually.
Absolutely he did. And one of your new favorite players is Alex Boone. You kind of like the way he helps Frank Gore, huh?
He's just such a big dude. I mean, he as you mentioned last week, he threw him around for a couple of first downs or forward for a couple of first downs.
Well, how about this week?
Gore was on his back and he just picked him up by the middle of the shoulder pads like it was like a piece of paper. It just made me just chuckle. He just reached over and picked him up straight on his feet. And just like, holy moly. What is the guy, 6'8", 500?
He's like 6'7", 340 or something like that, and I don't think he could go through a doorway straight. He'd have to turn side. Well, I do too, but anyhow.
Transition from being a tackle to a guard in the NFL, which I suppose isn't that easy.
It's not that easy.
Which usually they don't like 6'7" guards because you're right in the passing lanes, and so, I don't know, is he ducking before the passes again? I don't watch that closely. One quick thing again before we go around the league, I wanted to mention Ricky Jean Francois. When I watch the preseason games, I like to see how our twos do against other teams' twos, and he was dominant. And we lose Isaac Sopoaga.
Right. Our
second guy goes in, no drop off. I don't know that other teams can do that. I think that's a strength of the 49ers.
Absolutely.
All right,
I agree.
We're going around the league. 3 teams left that are undefeated: Arizona, Atlanta, and Houston. Do you see any?
Who was that first one?
Arizona.
Holy moly!
What are those odds? With those quarterbacks, I'm not sold on Cobb or. Skelton.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on either one of them.
But Cobb is doing a great job.
He is.
And Fitzgerald is not having the usual year that he has because everybody's double teaming him. But then you got a guy like Roberts who comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And is having a great year.
Yeah.
So, but their defense.
Very good defense.
Yes.
Young, fast.
Yeah.
I think they're.
You could make a case that 3 of the top defenses in the NFL are now in the NFC West.
Right.
With Arizona, the Cardinals, Seahawks, and us.
Right.
And What's good about this is it sets up some epic battles within your division, and I like that. I mean, some people don't like that teams in our division are getting good. I like it.
You got to have that competition.
You got to.
It makes you better for the other teams in the league.
You remember in the old days when we used to go down to New Orleans and play when New Orleans was good with those 4 linebackers?
Right.
Man, those games all used to be just gut-wrenchers.
Yeah.
And I look forward to that. In our division now, especially.
And Arizona goes to St. Louis this weekend, so that'll be interesting too. So Rams showed up last week.
Outside of Arizona, anybody surprised you so far around the NFL?
I got to say it, my Vikings.
Yeah,
I think
because I thought they were going to be at the bottom of the division, and now you got Detroit at the bottom of the division.
And they went through Detroit pretty handily.
Yeah.
Did we all just misjudge Detroit? I mean, as you look at it now, it just kind of looks like Detroit, we were talking about as this is a passing league. Detroit can't run or stop the run.
That's the problem.
And that's kind of tough in the NFL.
Losing Jabba Best is a huge thing for them. I mean, he kept defenses honest. Unfortunately, doesn't look like he's got the physical stature to play in the league.
Absolutely. Who's disappointed you around the league?
Detroit.
Anybody?
Dallas.
Boy,
Dallas
what a mess that last night was. Do you think Romo is on a short leash down there?
I think it's a contract year too.
No.
So
well, it is.
Is it really?
Yeah, they're negotiating for a contract extension right now.
Yeah.
But now, it's probably less money.
And what was it that the owner, Jerry Jones, said, the window for our opportunity to get to the Super Bowl isn't closing?
It's closing pretty fast.
I think it is closing pretty fast. You think he does anything drastic?
Don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay.
And to kind of defend Romo a little bit, 2 of those passes last night that were intercepted, it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
You throw to a spot, the receiver's not there.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you this, they're going to have a long talk with Des Bryant.
Yeah.
A little bit of a tude.
Who's out there in the NFL now that you think is a team to keep an eye on? I mean, one that I thought when the season started, don't laugh now, I thought Cleveland had some pretty good drafts under Mike Holmgren, and I thought might have been ready to turn the corner. I know they got a rookie quarterback, but he is 27 years old. I mean, I think before he got drafted, he got his ARP card. I thought they would have been pretty good, but they're kind of disappointing. Is there anybody out there that you guys have seen so far this year and think, watch these guys, they could be on the come?
I like the Bears.
Yeah.
They've got a good ball club. I think they're pretty well balanced and good D. And Cutler's good when he's good. He can get crazy, but when he's on, he's about as good as almost anybody.
I'll tell you who's flying underneath the radar. It's the Bengals.
Yeah, like
the Bengals.
3-1.
They're flying under the radar too. Yeah. And another team that people are probably looking at 2-2 and like, they're just so. Packers.
You can't count them out.
They lost to us.
They're 2-2.
And yes, I do use us.
They almost had 3.
That's right.
I think they think they should be 3-1.
Oh yeah.
Well, of course they should be.
I think 95% of America thinks they should be 3-1 too.
The debacle up there, my goodness gracious, in Seattle.
And I think your Patriots got a little angry this last weekend and said we're better than.
Yeah.
I was just going to say some individuals around the league. How about Tom Brady? I guess he answered quite a bit this past weekend up in Buffalo. And with us playing Buffalo, and we'll get to them in a little bit, wasn't that an odd game? It was 21-7, and we went to a commercial and we came back and it was 40-21 or so. Well, I don't know how fast that happened. I mean, even the red zone, which as you guys know is my favorite.
I mean, it happened so fast.
They didn't have it all.
Well, and plus, I went back to make sure the scoring was right.
Right, exactly.
Ryan Fitzpatrick was completing a number of balls to the Patriots, which helped quite a bit. So.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, he was about as accurate as Jim Furyk was during the Ryder Cup. But that's neither here nor there. Matty Ice down in Atlanta doesn't throw the deep ball. Throws one from the end zone about 50 yards in the air, 60 yards in the air. Was that Julio Jones that got it?
Roddy White.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, does that answer everything? Is Atlanta ready to take the next step and go deep into the playoffs?
I think so. To me, what's really helped them is Mike Nolan and their defense.
Yeah.
They threw out so many different looks at people, and people are just like, well, we didn't see that on film.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do.
But
I think they are. They're getting the running game is starting to come.
Yeah.
Now if you're counting on Roddy White, but you still have Julio Jones over here. You have Tony Gonzalez as well.
Right.
And Robert Trent. Their running backs are, Turner's a good player. So offensively, they've always been a stalwart team. But defensively, they've left it on the field, and I think it's changed. Yeah. They're the real deal.
The one guy that there was so much talk about during the offseason ended up in Denver, Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
First and foremost, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Right. Secondly, his commercials are absolutely hysterical.
They're hilarious.
He has just got a comic timing
Oh, yeah.
to him. I mean, I've said it and I'll say it again. The minute he retires, he's going to be in the chair right next to Jim Nantz.
He should be.
Yeah.
You know, on Sundays, he will be there.
Right.
His performance so far hasn't really thrown it all over the lot, hasn't thrown a lot of deep balls, but I think they've designed an offense for him.
I think last week 30 for 38 for 340 yards and 3 touchdowns was pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's not bad. But you know what I mean.
Everywhere in the lot.
It's not all down the field. It's much shorter stuff.
Right. It's more of a West Coast offense.
I think
now.
it's indicative to their players too.
And he was playing against a team. You know, the Raiders are pretty decimated.
They're banged up.
Yeah, they are banged up. There's no question about it.
But you know, people were talking about Peyton not throwing a tight spiral. He never threw a tight spiral.
Right. He never did.
He gets it where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So.
All right. When we come back, we're going.
Yep. Oh.
No, that's right.
No,
when we come
if
back,
he progresses, they could be good too. You know,
absolutely.
Interesting team.
And we'll see how good Buffalo is going to be next week, and we'll talk about that game when we come back on Hooked on the Niners.
Hooked on the Niners is brought to you in part by Old County Custom Framing, located at 1339 Old County Road in Belmont. You can reach Old County Custom Framing at 650-596-2767. That's 650-596-2767. Go Niners! California Catering Company of San Mateo, proudly serving our community at 233 West 20th Avenue in San Mateo. California Catering can be reached at 650-345-4811, extension 1. The San Mateo Credit Union, serving San Mateo County for over 60 years. They can be reached at 650-363-1725. That's 650-363-1725. Or on the web at www.smcu.org. San Mateo Credit Union.
Hey guys, Will Durst here for my good friends, acquaintances at Penn TV, the place for what's happening in San Mateo County and lots more too. Visit Penn TV on your local cable TV provider or live on the web at www.penntv.tv. Hey, they do good stuff.
Welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. I was supposed to point to the two hats when we left last time, wasn't I? Okay, these are two hats right here. Okay. One team we forgot to talk about when we were going around the league is the Saints. You know, ouch, 0-4. I mean, I guess in one way you can say we saw this coming, but not 0-4.
No.
I mean, you know, I know they lost their coach and, you know, some players, but did you see this?
No, absolutely not.
No.
I mean, obviously Peyton's a great tactician, but not 0-4.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, you lose to Kansas City.
Yeah.
You lose to Washington at home. Come on.
Yeah.
That's
That's a little rough. Okay, coming in next for the 49ers, the Buffalo Bills. I think a lot of folks in the preseason thought they could possibly win the AFC East. I still don't know who's going to win there. I'm not sold on New England. Love Tom Brady and all of that. Miami, the Jets, boy, we just saw that. So I think you got a hungry Buffalo team that comes in here and says, you know, we just got spanked and, you know, we can't take 2 spankings in a row. So dangerous team coming in.
Well, I think certainly offensively they are. I mean, Fitzpatrick likes to throw the ball. He threw 4 to the Patriots last week. He threw 4 to his guys, too, which is interesting. But 2 pretty good running backs, and Fred Taylor and C.J. Spiller, so they've got that. And their tight end, Dunlap, who I think caught 2 TDs. Scott Chandler. 6'7", 260.
Right.
So Golson and
Whitner
are going to have some fun with a very big dude. And
you know what's going to be
they
fun
like to throw to him.
But it's going to be fun to watch Chandler and Bowman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bowman drops in on him. That is going to be fun to watch.
That is going to be fun to watch. And, you know, we can't forget Mario Williams, who was probably, would you say, the biggest off-season free agent signing. And I remember we talked about this, that when Buffalo signed him, and I said, wow, that is really going to hurt Houston.
Not so far.
You know, not so far it hasn't. So, again, I think the Ryan Fitzpatrick thing is going to be a lot like Sanchez with New York. Don't let him set his feet, get in his face, hands up, all that sort of stuff. You know, maybe, you know, sometimes sometimes it's better to not sack the guy, to make him throw early with a hand in his face.
Right.
Those kinds of things lead to interceptions.
Right. You know, and their wide receivers aren't that big. You know, you got Stevie Johnson, you got Nelson. You know, they're not that big. So I think our guys can push them off the line a little bit more. So,
do you think the Niners come out running on offense to try to establish that against them before passing? I would still like to see Alex Smith throw more down the field. You know, he did miss 3 last week that I thought were open, a couple of wheel routes, you know, on deep stuff. But he did drop one in right on the button to
V. Davis.
Right, V. Davis, right there on the sideline.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I maybe this is an opportunity to throw more.
I think so too. Yeah, because you see what the Patriots did to him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying that Alex is Tom Brady, but still, there's an opening there that we can do it.
And it's just, it's happened so quickly, but so profoundly, the role of the tight end in football. I mean, 2 Buffalo TDs go to their tight end. I think 2 of Brady's passes were to Gronkowski. And this position has just become so powerful, and Davis can play with any of those guys, so you might see him a little more in the mix this time.
And with them having to fly out here to the thank you. With them having to fly out here to the West Coast and having less practice time because of the trip, like when we go back there, now they have to think about, I wonder if he's going to put in that taller quarterback.
Right. Oh, I think you got
Kaepernick at all. So they've got to look at that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, they're sitting there and they're getting their game plan ready. Yeah. And they're looking at every aspect that the Niners just threw at Minnesota, what they threw at the Jets. So yeah, they're covering all their bases. They have to.
Do you think this is something we'll see a lot more of going forward, or do you think? I mean, will there be games where we don't see Kaepernick? I kind of see this as we're going to see him every game going forward at some point.
It's so hard to predict. I mean, Harbaugh could put Tom Rathman in.
You probably
never know what he's going to do. But I think you have a weapon like that who can just do so many things. It's hard to keep him on the bench, for a couple of plays. It just creates so much uncertainty.
You know, for many years doing the show, your big thing was pass rush, and we said that on every show. It just got tired, and
you almost fired me 4 times.
Sick of you, here's going to be mine. A.J. Jenkins, LaMichael James.
Yep.
They're not even suited. They don't have a uniform on. They're in sweats. I don't get it.
I get it because
help me.
Because look at it this way, they're both rookies. Yeah. Okay, and LaMichael did have a little ankle injury. Okay. Everybody else is playing so well.
All right.
You know, and so what I think he's doing is he's telling these guys, until you step up in practice, you're not going to see the field. You know, and and it doesn't hurt to have these 2 rookies kind of sit back and let their bodies rest, you know.
But it's your first pick and your second pick. They got to be on the field.
Well, I hope it's the reason is because everybody's playing well. Because I guarantee you there's no teams in the league who've got their 1 and 2 not dressing.
All right, so we got 5 seconds. Hands in the middle. The Niners beat Buffalo.
I think so, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
And we'll be back here next week to talk about it right here on Hooked on the Niners.